Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Monday, November the 20th, 2023. Monday, November the 20th. Well, Jocelyn brings Adam to the ER. Although, how many of us have been in the ER? Do you notice how General Hospital's ER has never looked like an ER? Looks like a regular hospital floor. You know, she brings him in. Nurse's station is all open. Oh, Nurse Baldwin. He needs to see a doctor. I wish it was that easy the last time I was in the ER. You know what? The first ever time I was in the ER, not that that's a happy thing, was a few months ago. Thought I was having a heart attack, y'all. Acid reflux. Who knew the symptoms were similar, right? So I had to lay off those tomatoes. But anyway, um, off topic, but she takes him in, and of course, oh, we'll put him in examining room over there. GH has the most available ERs on the planet. Just bam, you in, right? So they were starting to take that big test. Now remember, he needed this test. They needed this test. Soon as it was starting, Adam started hyperventilating. He had a full-blown anxiety attack. And Jocelyn didn't exactly know what was happening, but she knew he was having a hard time breathing. He said his heart was racing. The school wanted to call, the professor, I guess, probably wanted to call 911, but Jocelyn promised to take him to the ER right away. So that's the only, reason why she brought him. So she brings him, and he's already calming down while he's there. And then he decided, no, I don't need to see a doctor. No, no. Oh my God, and we're missing a test. So he's starting all over again. And I'm causing you to miss a test. And oh, she goes, look, Adam, the test will be fine. We have to make sure you're okay. So she waits, and of course, later Liz comes back and tells her, it was an anxiety attack. That's all she could, tell him. But he's gonna be released. And so she goes, good. Oh. And then Liz says, Jocelyn, good thinking. You're gonna make an excellent doctor. You got him here right away. And see, Elizabeth's over her cheating on her son Cameron because Cameron has a new girlfriend. Cameron's happy out of Port Charles, thriving in Santa Barbara. Good, right? They're gonna bring Cameron back as some hunk. They're gonna recast him, and it's gonna make our heads spin, right? So anyway, she called her Dr. Jax, and I thought, you know what, that I can live with that. But this is gonna be the fastest medical school in history. But then again, Kiki's was fast too. There was no 4 years of studying at all. And but she wasn't a doctor. She was an intern, as a matter of fact. She had just started interning. So, anyway, that was interesting. Uh, so she takes him back to the dorms, and he's saying, "Oh my God, but this was the most important test." And she goes, "This test, Adam, is only 30% of our grade. Period. Right? You've been doing well. We are going to be able to take a makeup test, and everything's going to be fine." See, Jocelyn has a clear head. But it's the pressure this boy has been put under all his life. Jocelyn's like, a test is a test, period. And it's not even 30% of my, and I got a 89 on the last one. Okay. Live with that. She is definitely, her thing is, I'm passing the course, right? I am not failing in anything, period. So, and she's balanced. She's still playing sports and everything else. Only pre-med that I know that does all that, but that's Jocelyn. She's Supergirl, just like her mama. So anyway, she walks in the room and Trina and Spencer are kissing. Mind you, they had a long talk. Trina finally told him, and he slept on the floor outside her door. And when she opened the door to go to class, he falls in. And she pulls him in and she goes, "You could have gotten me in trouble with the house admin, the person that oversees, because you're not supposed to have people spending the night. They don't care what you do in the dorms most of the night, but the person can't spend the night. Even though Jocelyn had Dex hidden there for how many days, right? So anyway, when he got shot and she was trying to take care of him, so she brings him in, and in my mind, I'm thinking, you spent the night away from Ace, who has to have 100% of your attention. You were okay with that, Spencer? So Trina just told him, Spencer, I don't know how you really see that the situation between you, Esme, and you, Ace, Esme, and me really working out. They're moving out. What are you going to do? Move with them? I mean, you haven't thought it through. And here's the truth. You can't make decisions for me. You've done all this. You never stopped to ask me how I really feel and what I'm going to do. And he looked at her and he goes, "Well, how do you feel? And what are you going to do?" And she says, I'm not going to stay in this situation. She said, "See, Spencer, I look at Esme and I see the person who drugged me and pretty much tried to take my life away by framing me and getting me sent to prison. That's who I see." And he goes, "But she's changed. Trina says, she may have amnesia for now." He said, "But Spencer, I'm telling you, that's who I see." And she said, and I've done very well tolerating, very well. But now going forward, going long term, no, I am taking myself out the equation. Point blank, taking myself out the equation. And then, now he's doing a double a turnaround. No, you're right. I've been unfair because Jocelyn just spent all that time talking to him too, and he started to see reasoning, right? So he said, "I will accept the inevitable that I am Ace's brother, not his father, and that he and Esme are going to move out, and there's nothing I can do about it." He says, "I'm just going to have to see when she'll let me visit him." And Trina said, "Spencer, Esme is absolutely not going to cut you out of Ace's life. She is just not going to do that. You're just not going to be able to control her and Ace." And see, that's what he was doing. He was controlling as much as he could the whole situation. So when Jocelyn comes in, they're kissing because he chose her. He says, no. I choose you. You know, he wants to be with her if she'll be with him. So they're kissing, and that's when Jocelyn came in after, bringing Adam back. And she goes, "Well, it looks like somebody's made up." And then Trina turns around her and Spencer, and she's like, "Somebody has decided to put me first." Although, it's funny. I think Nicholas's hair needs to be cut a little bit, but perhaps now that the actor strike is over, the movie he's playing one of the Menendez brothers. I think their hair was kind of fuller, in the front. So I think maybe he's getting ready for that. Um, And if he does leave for a minute, it's going to be because Nicholas comes home. Watch. He's going to do something bratty. But anyway, um, so they're back on track. And then we had Blaze invited Christina to the recording studio. You could just see the sparks in those two. I could tell Blaze is older than Christina, but they actually are clicking. They've got some chemistry going. I like the chemistry between her and Blaze over anybody she's been with. Remember when she was in love with her professor? That to me wasn't good chemistry. You know, for one, Christina was way too young for that professor to be interested in. But I like her and Blaze. I like where they're going with that. They don't need to speed it. They just need to let it naturally happen. So anyway, Christina, was loving watching Blaze record, saying how interesting that was. So it was pretty good. And she gave her some inspiration, and Brooklyn was happy. So that was them. So then Carly decides she's going to go to the Metro Court and she wants to talk to Nina. And so Nina ended up sitting down. Carly talked to the hostess girl and she was saying, rumor has it you're coming back, Miss Spencer. And she goes, I do miss you all. And so Nina sits down and says, okay, so you want to talk to me? So does this mean, you've made a decision on the offer? And she says, Nina, why are you really doing this? Why? And so Nina says, because I'm trying to make peace for the family. And so Carly says, really, it's to make peace or to impress Willow. That's really what it's for, probably. She says, and I want to tell you something, Nina. It's working. I just spoke to Willow today. She knows I'm not going to accept the offer because I've already told her. But she's very impressed that you did make this offer. She says, so take the win, Nina. It's working. But I would love to take your offer, but I can't afford it right now. And she goes, I just assumed that Michael would. She goes, no, whoa. Cardi says, no. I will not take money from Michael. If I'm to get the Metro Court back, I have to have the money to get it back. And right now, I just don't. And I'm okay with that because I've got Kelly's. And so Nina's like, oh, but, and she's thinking, the flashback of Michael saying, you will sell. And so she goes, but Carly, isn't there? She goes, Nina, look, that's when she turned around and said, just take the win. Take the win. And Carly turns and walks away. And Nina's standing there like, well, what do I do? Well, chick, what you do is tell Michael, look, she refused. But then again, you know that. So there's no way that I can give your mother back her part of the hotel. Just, bottom line. Because Carly is not going for the deal. So that's squashed. Michael, right? So we also have, now Ned shows up. Ned shows up as Ned. Drew and Michael still were planning on pushing him out. But when he gets there, he decides he was going to tell Drew. And I was thinking, oh my goodness, they're going to have this come out. But of course, the phone rings. Michael goes and answers it. And it's on a ELQ deal that Michael closed. Well, Michael said, well, it was actually closed in July. We just needed to finish up some final details. And they're doing the groundbreaking next month. Oh, Ned hit the ceiling. You do not have any authority to do an ELQ business, making it. And Michael said, did you look at the deal? Because apparently it had been in the works. And Michael got ELQ a much better deal than Ned was working on, right? He goes, did you see the numbers? And he goes, no, I haven't. And he goes, well, maybe you should take a look before you talk about how could I? And so then Drew steps in and Drew says, wait a minute. You were who? You weren't you were Eddie. You walked around for months proclaiming all you wanted was your guitar music. Who knew when you were coming back? And so Ned's like, you make it sound like I was at a rehab. Well, Drew was like, nobody knew when you were coming back, not even you. Getting your memory back. I was in prison. He said, Ned, you should be thanking Michael because look, Michael was running Aurora all by himself. He goes, you should be thanking Michael for doing the deal for ELQ. And it's a profitable deal. He goes, matter of fact, you couldn't have negotiated those better terms, those terms. And he goes, oh, that's probably what you're upset about, huh, Ned? You're upset that Michael negotiated a deal better than you. Oh, Ned he's like, no, you do. I am the president. And from now on, I make all the decisions. Michael, you are just a shareholder and blah, blah, blah. And he goes huffing and puffing out. And I thought, now you see, for one, they had him overreact, period. Ned should not have reacted that way because there could have been and Drew said, and Valentine has absolutely not been around all year, And so that company could have all the stocks could have fallen. Because when Tracy came back, she sure didn't step in. She used to run ELQ at all. But I think, oh no, it was Valentine that when he was leaving earlier in the year, asked Michael to come up and keep an eye on Ned. That's when Ned was Ned. See, this Valentine said, keep an eye on him. Michael's like, no, my hands are full with Aurora. So anyway, that was just the way that now he's gonna keep a secret. And guess what? Watch. He and Nina are gonna team up. That is my gut. My gut is he and Nina are gonna, because he told Drew, Michael is a shark. And Michael just looks at him like, oh, okay, a shark who got a good deal done. What you told? And I'm a Quartermain and a Corinthos. I can't help but be cutthroat. But it was a good deal. And what shark? He's been running Aurora primo, right? So Michael just looking at him like, whatever. So when he walked out, Drew said, now you see, for sure he's not fit to run ELQ. And my thing is, why are you going after Ned? Valentine is the CEO. It's Valentine you need to be overthrowing. You're automatically above Ned as a CEO. My dog cleared her throat in the back. Almost sound like she's wandered into the exercise room, y'all. She don't know where she's at because she's blind, so she can be bumping into every piece of equipment. I'll have to go get her in a minute. But anyway, so that was just, I said, nah, this is just the way that him and Nina are gonna team up, because Nina's gonna say, Michael already knows about the SEC and he's blackmailing me. And that's going to get Ned and her working together, and he's going to figure out a way to turn those blackmailing tables over on Michael, which is exactly what I said would happen. Michael held on to this, and it's going to backfire on him. And you know what? Good for him. Good for him. Will'll be mad she ain't divorcing him. Sonny gonna be mad. How could you blackmail my wife? Why didn't you tell me? Carly's gonna be mad. Why didn't you tell me? I'm your mother. So this is gonna actually go worse on Michael when it should go worse on Willow, but it's gonna go worse on Michael. So anyway, that was it, everybody. Oh, one of the drug, because Adam told Jocelyn that he took, the drugs that help you stay up and study harder. And so it was he says it's a long D name. And so she goes, those are harmful. And he goes, yeah, but I have a prescription. She said, still, Adam, you have a prescription, but you have to take that in moderation. Just, the symptoms are just what you had. Your heart was racing, your breathing was fast. And I looked it up on the internet. Blood pressure rises. And he goes, I just took too many, that's all. Okay, so it said no more than what, one every 5 hours, and you took 2, 3 every 5 hours? See, you don't have it under control, Adam. You do not have it under control. So anyway, everybody, look, comment corner was off the chain. 93, you all were talking back and forth and back and forth. And look, I gotta go get my dog. Hold on for half a second. Then the exercise room by the weight machine, wondering why couldn't she go forward. So anyway, now she's over here scratching. You hear that little knocking, that's her. So, come on now. 15 and a half. So what, that's almost 100 our years. Anyway, so off the chain with you all, the conversation back and forth, back and forth. And remember, I could not remember the actor's name that plays Austin. I had to look it up. That's how bad I got. Roger Howarth. Of course. How could I forget his name? I know his name very well, just like I know Trevor St. John's name very well. And what was funny, skimming through the comments in Comment Corner, people were saying, Franco and Austin, they looked so much alike. Why didn't people? There were so many of you in Comment Corner land didn't know that was the same actor. He came on as Franco first. I'm sorry. He came on as Todd Manning first. Then he replaced the real Franco. He took that role of Franco because there was another actor, and see, here we go with names. Franco was really in that other actor's name. I loved him as Franco, the original Franco. My goodness, right? So he took over the role of Franco, and then now Austin. And like I said, if they kill him off, he'll come back as somebody else. And I forgot one of the characters Finn was on General Hospital. Now, let's go way back to Port Charles. When he was on Port Charles, and Port Charles had to spin off the night shift, but he wasn't on night shift. He was on Port Charles. He was the vampire Caleb. And him and the actress that plays Sam, she was Libby. And they had this huge love story. And trust me, I was a Caleb and Libby fan, right? She's trying to clear her throat now. See, she's just really doing a number on my repeat today. That's Kara. So then when he came on to General Hospital, he came with Star and Todd Manning, the characters. He came as John McBain, who was a detective from One Life to Live. The three of them came from One Life to Live. And Blair and Taya came too. General Hospital was kicking when they were all on. So then he goes from John McBain. He has to leave because the One Life to Live did the whole internet thing and called their character names back. They brought him as Cyrus. He was what was Cyrus? Cyrus was a doctor. Cyrus was a doctor, and Madeline killed him. because Cyrus is Kiki's father. Cyrus was who Nina was married to when she went in the coma, and her mother hated Cyrus, and she was pregnant, and she hadn't had a chance to tell Cyrus, and that's when her mother gave her the overdose. And Cyrus was having an affair with Ava, and that's how he ended up fathering Kiki, which he didn't know he was Kiki's father because Ava made made Franco think that she was Kiki's father, but a little later. So pretty much nobody thought they were Kiki's father. But so anyway, he was John McBain, Cyrus, and now Hamilton Finn. So it looks like they're settling in on Hamilton Finn for a hot minute. But anyway, Comic Corner, y'all have been so well with that. 93 comments back and forth. You all were really, I love that because you guys were giving each other history. You guys were talking about things. So keep up the good work. But I can't even begin to to read 93. But you know what? That's the next level problem that we want to have, that there's so much that you all can communicate with each other to and just have a really good time. So everybody, I'll be back tomorrow for another daily recap of General Hospital.